Joy-Anna Forsyth avoids talking about Jill Dillard. Jill Dillard and Derek Dillard appear to be making some strides in reconnecting with the Duggar family. The couple was on hand for a Christmas celebration at the Duggar compound, and the family turned up for a recent memorial held by Jill and Derek. Despite the positive momentum, the family still isn't talking about Jill Dillard's book, Counting the Cost. Joy-Anna Forsyth completely avoided mention of the book during a recent Q&A despite a fan asking her directly about it. Joy-Anna Forsyth opens up about faith and religion in YouTube video. In a recent YouTube video, Joy-Anna Forsyth answered fan questions. Joy dedicated a fair bit of time to answering a question about her sister's books. Despite her willingness to discuss her family and faith, she was especially careful about how she answered the question. During the Q&A, a follower asked Joy if her sister's memoirs. Joy-Anna Duggar says reading sisters Jill and Ginger's tell-all books rocked my world. Now that the oldest members of the Duggar family have had the chance to settle into their adult lives, many of them have chosen not to follow their parents' cult-like religion, the Institute in Basic Life Principles. And now, Joy-Anna Duggar is sharing how her sisters paved the way for her to make her own choices about her faith, too. In a new YouTube vlog, Joy opened up about Jill and Ginger's memoirs, admitting that they rocked my world when she read them. More from Cave Mom. Joy-Anna Duggar reveals she's struggling with postpartum depression after Gunner's birth. Joy shared a Q&A on her YouTube channel. In the 20-minute video that Joy uploaded to her Follow the Forsyths YouTube channel this week, she answered questions that fans submitted to her via Instagram. Unsurprisingly, plenty of them had to do with her famous family and the religion so many of them have been walking away from in recent years. Joy and her husband, Austin Forsyth, included. One person asked if Joy found it difficult to read her sister's books. It seems this was a question with a complicated answer for Joy, who was open about the role her sisters have played in her deciding what her own faith looks like as an adult. I feel like any child growing up, you're always going to, at the teenage years, you're going to start questioning things. You're going to start having those thoughts of like, oh, well, what do I believe? She said. Ginger's book in particular has been eye-opening for her. Although both Ginger and Jill went into detail about why they questioned their oversized family's lifestyle and religion, but it sounds like Ginger's resonated the most with Joy. I feel like talking to Ginger before her book came out and talking specifics, I feel like it kind of did rock my world a little bit, she said. More from Cave Mom. Amy Duggar says she hopes every day of prison is absolute torture for cousin Josh Duggar. She said Ginger's book brought up things she hadn't specifically thought about yet. I knew I didn't believe certain things, but I hadn't actually worked through that and why, so I think that it kind of did shake my world a little bit, she said. Joy added, I'm really thankful that I'm going through it when my kids are still young and Austin and I are being able to do this together and really see, what do we believe? What does the Bible say? And coming to a healthy place of just being able to work through all of that together. She declined to share any further updates about her extended family, though. Obviously, I'd love to update you on their lives, but out of respect and their privacy, and they can share how much they want to share, I'm not going to share much about their lives, she said. Fair enough. It's good to see that Joy is doing well, and hopefully she'll share another update soon. Joy-Anna Forsyth discusses Ginger Wuolo's book, avoids questions about Jill Dillard's memoir. Joy-Anna Forsyth answered a question about her sister's memoirs but was careful not to talk about Jill Dillard's scathing book. She was happy to chat about Ginger Wuolo's, though. Jill Dillard and Derek Dillard appear to be making some strides in reconnecting with the Duggar family. The couple was on hand for a Christmas celebration at the Duggar compound, and the family turned up for a recent memorial held by Jill and Derek. Despite the positive momentum, the family still isn't talking about Jill Dillard's book, Counting the Cost. Joy-Anna Forsyth completely avoided mention of the book during a recent Q&A despite a fan asking her directly about it. Joyanna Forsyth opens up about faith and religion in YouTube video. In a recent YouTube video, Joyanna Forsyth answered fan questions. Joy dedicated a fair bit of time to answering a question about her sister's books. Despite her willingness to discuss her family and faith, she was especially careful about how she answered the question. During the Q&A, a follower asked Joy if her sister's memoirs had led her to question her faith or disentangle herself from the ultra-conservative Christian ministry in which she was raised. Joy revealed that reading the books led her to ask hard questions. She said speaking directly to Jingervuolo made her question things more. Joy talked at length about Ginger and their discussions about faith and religion. Followers quickly noticed that Joy completely glossed over Jill Dillard's nonfiction offering. Joy probably skipped discussing Jill Dillard's book because of its content, while Joy was open about discussing her faith with Jingervuolo and reading her book. She was much more cagey when talking about Jill's book. The follower asked her specifically about both memoirs. Still, she opted not to mention Jill by name. Joy also did not mention if she's had any significant conversations with her since her book was released. Joy's heavy focus on Ginger and her book becoming free indeed likely has to do with her connection to her parents. In her book, Ginger spoke openly about the Institute of Basic Life Principles, the ministry she was raised in, but she opted not to discuss her upbringing as a whole. At the very least, she was kinder to Jim Bob Duggar than Jill was. On the other hand, Jill also criticized the ministry but focused most of her book on the family dynamics that caused strife within her marriage. Are Jill Dillard and Joyanna Forsyth in touch? Jill Dillard has made it clear she isn't in touch with all of her siblings. On multiple occasions, she has said her siblings are all in different stages of their own journey. Some understand her and have closer interactions with her and her family. Some are angry with her and have opted to keep their distance. In podcasting interviews following the release of her book, the former TV personality said she was trying to respect and protect the privacy of her siblings by not revealing who she is in regular contact with. Because of the Duggar family's reluctance to talk about Jill and Jill's desire to respect her siblings' privacy, we don't know for certain if Jill and Joyanna are in regular contact. Clearly, they have some connection, though. They still follow each other on Instagram. It appears Joy was on hand for a memorial for Jill and Derek's stillborn daughter, Isla. Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar also attended the event.